Hello and welcome back. Appreciate you joining me again. Hopefully, you just did that mantra meditation, some powerful breathwork tools. I want to talk about the importance of breathing. Talked about this many times, and I'll tell you in a different way. Breathing is important. You may find yourself in fight or flight. You may find yourself in fear, doubt, worry, lack, scarcity, anxiety, depression. And in that moment, it may actually not have anything to do with what's going on in your current world. It may have more to do with your current posture in that moment. Lots of people spend most of their time sitting down. And when you're sitting down, you could find that you kind of get a extreme curvature in your spine, and your tailbone is probably pinched underneath you. So you're not sitting with proper posture. Your shoulders slouch, your your abdominal bends over. And in this position, you're cutting off your oxygen, you're cutting off your electricity. And that's the position we often drive in. It's a position you often sit at the desk. It's a position you often sit at while watching TV at home. You're right in that position. Most people spend most of their time in that position, and they don't know why they feel poorly. And in reality, your body is signaling your brain as to what's going on. So if you can't get enough oxygen and you're cutting off your electricity, then you're going to signal to your brain that things are going poorly. You're in a compromised position. And your brain is going to tell your body, you need to get out of this position because it's of extreme discomfort and we can't go on like this for long. And it signals that with anxiety in particular and just poor emotions in general to get you to make a move, literally to get you to move. Your body is wired to move at least a little bit every hour, whether that be for 15 minutes or even just standing up, right? Let's say you can't get 15 minutes of some type of movement on every hour, then you have to at least stand up, move around, stretch a little bit, because you got to respect your body and you got to work with it, or else it's going to work against you. This article right here. Do you always feel stressed? The threat brain. It's all about your fight or flight response. We've talked about that. We've talked about how your fight or flight response is directly attributed to your lizard brain, or the oldest part of your brain. We've talked about the amygdala. We've talked about the importance of the reticular activation system. These things are in your brain stem. The further back in the brain you go, the older it is, the longer it's been a part of us throughout evolution. And our forebrain is the most recent, holding things such as the prefrontal cortex, which allows us to have, seemingly allows us to have thought, allows us to have self-reflection, and allows us to project the future and learn from the past. That is brand new. We never had access to that, or it didn't exist. It developed over time. And it shows what kind of species we were before that. I mean, if you think that we're primitive now, or you think that we are, well, whatever words you want to put on it, we were certainly a lot more primal, and that is not without intelligence. So all these other animals are extremely smart, and also intelligence depends on what are you testing for. Mark Twain famously said, "Don't judge a fish's abilities by the way it climbs a tree." So we may look at chimpanzees, and to the layman, we may say, "Oh, we're so much more evolved than them." But in reality, their social structure is very similar to ours, and we have nowhere near their strength, nowhere near. They're 10 times as strong as us, if not more. They have amazing ability to climb trees. They have amazing ability to find food. If you were to drop us both in Africa right now, they do a lot better than humans. So they know what to look for, what to do. And most humans have never gotten their own food on their own in their entire existence. So we are extremely soft. We are house creatures now. So, and they're only X amount behind us. They are evolving and they are already into the Stone Age, which we, of course, went through. So if we just give them time and we just leave them alone, maybe if we even, try to enhance and develop them, then they would be, right in line with our evolution as well. So this is something I find very interesting, very fascinating. It tells us a lot about ourselves. Great documentary on Netflix called Chimp Empire. Definitely check it out if you love animals or if you are interested in psychology. It tells us a lot about why we do the things that we do and how we developed into this creature who has certain characteristics and a hierarchy of needs. The main thing I wanted to hit on, though, is our interaction with our understanding of our own consciousness. Talking about our frequencies and talking about things like anxiety and depression, which of course are on the opposite side of a spectrum. And understanding that we've talked a lot about thoughts and we've talked a lot about the ego, and understanding that there's two ways to escape, let's say. You can overcome it, you can overcome your thoughts. That is that which is of a higher frequency. You can become aware, more conscious, or what some say is in direct communication with God. That is a place in which there are no thoughts. You could call it heaven. It is a place above the frequency that you're on, in which there are no thoughts. Peace, serenity, tranquility, calm. And you could place whatever you want into that space. You may call it imagination, or you may call it that which is of a higher frequency. We really truly don't know what that space is. So to label it with words would be silly. Then there's what most people do, which is get to that which is of a lower frequency, which is something that dulls you, something that sedates you, something that puts you into unconsciousness. And that is to put you in a frequency that is below thought. So more than one drink of alcohol, painkillers, things of that particular nature, they sedate you. and they put you into unconsciousness. And we are a being that is well past that. Right? I just talked about the development of the brain. Those things, alcohol, painkillers, they sedate your prefrontal cortex and they turn off your decision maker. They turn off that which has made you the evolved ape, what has made you this level of human with this current consciousness. We left that behind a long time ago. And sedating your prefrontal cortex with things that poison your brain is not the answer. That is, it's treating the symptom of whatever is going on with you. And the only thing that could possibly cure you is presence. And things such as alcohol, painkillers, most of the drugs, they put you below a certain frequency. And there are false idols. Using those things habitually, using those things to cope is worshiping false idols. And perhaps the answer is discipline. Perhaps the answer is creating a system in your life, a program in your life, in which you put all of your energy, all of your focus into following these steps. Something that works amazingly is the 12-step program, Alcoholics Anonymous, but it really can be used in with any sort of abuse or addiction, or it can be used in any area of your life. That 12-step program, there's no magic to it. It's just facing one day at a time, giving it all you got, because forever you will be an addict to whatever it is that you're addicted to. It doesn't have to be a drug. It could be your phone. It could be to treating yourself poorly. It could be, you could be addicted to negative thoughts. It could be anything. You can get addicted to any of your habits. For those who are addicted to certain drugs of this particular nature, you can imagine how much more discipline it would take to wean yourself off of that. And it's not just about discipline, right? This is a chemical game. The pains of withdrawal will have people cave in and go back to their old ways. And that's with anything, right? And that's with a diet. That's with an exercise program. That's with changing your sleep schedule, with anything that requires response, anything that you would take on as a responsibility, anything that you could hold yourself accountable for, but it's worth it. It's worth holding yourself accountable and creating a group and a community. Pretty much everyone needs community to stay accountable. So lean on the people who you love and love you, and also speak truth. Speak truth to yourself on a daily basis, regardless of what you're going through. Make sure that you are your number one ally, because no one can ever help you as much as you can help you. Again, if you're interested in having me create a program for you, a custom program, email me, leave a comment below, text me, call me, whatever. I appreciate you listening and see you soon. Peace.